This is going to be more of a positive appreciation type of video more than anything else, because Ian McKellen was just in this interview recently, and he said some really great stuff in this interview. And of course, I'm someone who loves the representation of Ian McKellen as Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. I think he did a phenomenal job. And in this interview, he talks about how he still doesn't quite know how Gandalf came his way. And I think I could probably answer that for Ian McKellen, because Ian McKellen is a great actor, and he is Gandalf. Like, I replied to him on Twitter about that, actually, because he shared this article, and he said, I still don't quite know how Gandalf came my way. Of course, I cannot speak as eloquently as Ian McKellen can, but then I replied to him, and I said, you are Gandalf, Ian. We would have it no other way. Thank you for taking the role and giving us such an incredible performance. And if you know me at all, you know that Lord of the Rings is one of my, not just my favorite movies of all time, it is literally one of my favorite just things ever of all time. I absolutely love Lord of the Rings. It is just like incredible, and I just love it so much. I really do. So this interview that he did was really good, and let me see if I can actually find where he talks about this, because right here he says, I still don't quite know how Gandalf came my way. He said, I think because some of the actors would have been offered it before me were rather put off by the idea of having to live in New Zealand for a year. Where the hell is that? Well, more fool them. So yeah, and then he continues to talk about it and stuff, but Ian McKellen has always been someone who has been a great actor. He's someone that I think is Gandalf. Like, I sincerely cannot think of anybody else playing Gandalf. It's actually kind of interesting, because Christopher Lee was actually someone who was I think he was approached to play Gandalf before Ian McKellen was, if I'm getting that correctly in my head. It's interesting because Christopher Lee is Saruman. Like, he is Saruman. I cannot imagine anybody else playing that role as well as Christopher Lee did. And the same thing with Gandalf. Ian McKellen is Gandalf, and I am so glad that he took that role. Man, I haven't seen those movies in a little while, actually, and I really do need to watch them. Those movies are just fantastic. I don't know why, but just this interview and reading this interview and stuff, it just got me thinking about Lord of the Rings, and it's just crazy to think that those movies were made like 20 years ago. Like, that is absolutely insane. That's absolutely insane. I was 8 years old when I watched the first Fellowship of the Ring and stuff, and it was just, or you know, the first Lord of the Rings movie, Fellowship, and it was just like it completely dramatically changed my life in so many ways. It's what got me into classical literature. It's what got me into, you know, all of the old tales and legends and stuff, and it's just one of the greatest memories of my life is experiencing Lord of the Rings, and just how much that impacted my life at such a young age and stuff. And I wish we could get more good movies again, you know. I wish we could get movies that were great like Lord of the Rings, but unfortunately they're just far and few between. Honestly, like, I just can't think of anything even coming close to touching Lord of the Rings as far as just how great they are. So I just wanted to do a video kind of talking about this. I know that I don't usually make videos like this too much on my channel, but I don't know, I just wanted to do an appreciation video for Lord of the Rings and for Ian McKellen taking on this role of playing Gandalf and stuff. And I'm so glad that Peter Jackson you know, approached him to do that and stuff. I can't picture it any other way. I want the Jackson cut for The Hobbit, by the way. We've been talking about this over on my podcast that I do, Epic Man Podcast. We actually have a YouTube channel for it, and we are on pretty much all of the podcast sites. So if you want to, go check out that podcast, Epic Man Podcast, and subscribe over there. We talk about all sorts of crazy stuff, but we've been talking about the Snyder Cut and everything else, and then I was like, hey, we got the Snyder Cut happening, and we got it. We got it as the fans. Make the Jackson cut happen, because Peter Jackson got screwed so hard by Warner Brothers over The Hobbit and stuff. And if you guys want to, I could make a video about that sometime and kind of talk about some of the backstory behind that, because Warner Brothers completely screwed over Peter Jackson and all of that, and it's a shame, because the Hobbit movies could have been really great movies, and they're watchable, but they're not anywhere near as good as Lord of the Rings, not even close. So I could do a video about that sometime if you guys wanted to. If you want to see me do a video about that, make sure you like this video and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.
With my heart still